What's up, Wastelanders? Boys and girls, prepare to be astounded, bedazzled, and otherwise stupefied.
You talk a lot. Sound funny when you talk like a stupid human.
I am online once again! Tremble, world, before my electric heating coil of doom!
What's up, Wastelanders? Hello and welcome to Tapes from the Wastes, a Fallout fan podcast bringing you gameplay discussion, lore discussion, Fallout discussion, and all things adjacent to Fallout. I am one of your hosts, KDB, and as always, later in the episode you'll be hearing from my co-host, Eric. Now, to be honest with you, I don't know if that's happening yet. I'm recording this segment and Eric is still in bed at the moment, sleeping probably. Over on his side of the planet, and he doesn't know that I'm recording this segment, so I need to check in with him when he's up and see if he wants to contribute to this episode. Which I hope he does, but yes, it might just be me, and if it is, I might have to edit that out, or maybe I'll leave it in just for fun. But hello Wastelanders, it is 2025 and this is our first episode of the new year. Hope everyone's doing well. How are you? It's the dawn of a new era. Have you made any New Year's resolutions? Mine, to be honest with you, is to play more Fallout, which I'm going to be doing this year. I think I've mentioned on a previous episode that in 2024 I was... actually, before I get into that first, so today, this episode, first episode of 2025, I just had some stuff on my mind and I wanted to do a bit of a ramble on it. There's not really much in the way of Fallout news at the moment. We have, at the moment it's like a quiet period. Like if you look at the news, it's all just, Atomic Shop updates and stuff. And the last community calendar we had, I think showed that there's not a great deal of stuff going on until, is it March when the ghoul stuff arrives, when you can play as a ghoul? Let me just have a look here. December, yeah, so Gleaming Depths, obviously that launched in December. January, Happy New Year. So there's, mutations, public events, caps aplenty, double score. As I record this, it is caps aplenty, but then next week will, the final weekend of January into February will be double score, treasure hunter, and double mutations. And then in February, we've got the return of Fastnat, Festive Fastnat, double XP. Yeah. And then it isn't really, until March, which is when we're going to get the big player ghoul update and the arrival of Season 20. So there's not a great deal of news, and it's a quiet time of year. There's some big gaming industry news, but I'm not here to talk about that today. Well, that's kind of a lie, because some of the industry news is what spurred on my topic idea for this episode. But yes, there's not a great deal of Fallout news. The big industry news was that the Switch 2 was revealed, and it got me thinking about Fallout and the Switch, and I wanted to make a bit of a case for Fallout on the Switch and ask some questions and give some thoughts about it. And I'll get to that for this episode in a little bit. But what was I saying before I interrupted myself? Yes, New Year's resolutions, to play more Fallout. So I think I mentioned on this show that in 2024, I did this thing where I set out to finish as many games as possible in a year. And I ended up, just before I went on holiday at the end of December, with 49 games complete in 2024. Now, that isn't 49 games played. I played a lot more than 49 games. I dived into some for a few hours, tried them out, maybe didn't like them, went back to other games, revisited Starfield. I did revisit Fallout as well. But in terms of completing games start to finish, or playing through again start to finish, because I did revisit some, that was my focus for 2024. I've come back in 2025 with a bit of a change in opinion on that, and I might have mentioned this on Starfield Sandwich, the other show that Eric and I do, where this year I'm very much just going to play games that I really want to play, and whether that's spending more time in Fallout, spending more time in Starfield, or picking up games from my backlog, which is what I've started to do. I've kicked off the year playing Cyberpunk 2077, And yeah, I'm just going to focus on playing more of what I enjoy rather than trying to beat any kind of record. So I'm definitely not going to finish 49 games this year. But New Year's resolution is definitely to play more Fallout, because 2023 was not 2023, 2024 was a huge year for the franchise with the release of the TV show and what that did. And I think back to that period of time and how much that just kind of rejuvenated my love for the franchise. And as we always say, like, we are a small corner of the Fallout fandom. And in terms of seeing myself as a Fallout fan, like, I see other fans online and it's just like, they're massive super fans. I get it. It's not a competition, your fandom, but I feel like this is just a thing that I love and that I love talking about. And sometimes I think I like talking about it in different ways that maybe I don't see other people talking about. Mine is a bit more kind of freestyled and, yeah, rambly. Unless we're talking about lore or something like that. You know, I don't do any dramatic stuff or like many of the awesome kind of radio shows and, you know, Fallout dramatic podcasts that are out there, some of which Eric is obviously involved in. That's not really my thing. It's not that I don't enjoy listening to it. I do enjoy listening to it. Where the hell was I going with this? What was I saying? Oh yeah, so the show came out and it just kind of rejuvenated I was so buzzing for Fallout back then, and went back and played Fallout 4, revisited Fallout 4. They released that update, which didn't quite maybe deliver what we were hoping for, but you know, it arrived. But yeah, 2024, I didn't get to play the game as much, and I'm really missing Fallout 76. When we launched this show, and particularly into 2021, 2022, I was playing that game a lot, every week, without fail. And I kind of miss those days. And life's hard, life's busy, stuff gets in the way. There's so many games to play, and I love playing a variety of games. But this year, I'm getting back to more Fallout. And that's another reason why I'm here talking to you today, because my love for the franchise continues to grow, and I miss it. Sometimes it's nice to take a break. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. And not that I completely detached myself from playing Fallout last year, but I played loads of Fallout Shelter last year, and the buzz I got from Fallout Shelter, what a game. But yes, so that's one of my New Year's resolutions. Have you made any New Year's resolutions? Let me know what they are. Is it anything to do with Fallout? This year for Fallout, what can we expect? I don't think any of us are expecting a new mainline game, right? No new mobile games, anything like that. The TV show probably isn't going to be here until 2026. But there is something we could get. As I mentioned, we have the reveal of the Switch 2. The Nintendo Switch 2 has arrived, and I feel like this is a conversation, and I say this, the conversation of Fallout on the Switch has been battered around for a long time. I was desperate for a Fallout 3 port on the Switch, and we never got it, or we haven't got it yet. We have the worst kept secret in the world. The Switch 2 is real. It's officially been revealed. Now, the reveal was, you know, it was kind of underwhelming. It was very just confirming that it exists, basically, and giving us a quick look at it. It's a bigger Switch. Yep, same thing. A bit of an iteration on the Switch. I just said I have a massive rant on this on the Gaming Aroma Podcast, one of my other shows as well. So do go and check that out if you want more of my thoughts on the actual Switch 2 reveal. But we're getting more details later in the year, which we may see games at. But it just got me thinking. In my rejuvenated, feelings about Fallout and playing Fallout this year, I was like, now is the time. If not now, like when the Switch 2 comes out, first of all, there's many reasons why I would want Fallout on Switch. And when I say Fallout on Switch, I suppose I'm referring to, I guess, primarily Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. Now, Fallout 76 on Switch, that would be amazing. Again, fundamentally and, logistically, and I'm not sure how that's possible or if that is even possible. But there's a lot we don't know yet about the new console. But, I think about why would I want Fallout on the Switch? Fallout is, one of my favorite franchises of all time. The more places I can play it, the better. Playing a handheld now, to me, is more appealing than ever as well, because due to, family life, my home life, use of the TV, my kid likes TV, my kid likes games. My kid is fully becoming a gamer. He, my gaming time is in the evening, if I'm lucky. He loves to play it at the weekend, and we play games together, and more of my gaming time is kind of playing with him than playing what I want to play. Maybe not more, but a very large chunk. We have a nice TV in the lounge, and my wife likes to use the TV and watch shows, and we watch shows together. Sometimes I don't want to watch shows, and to have a handheld, if I can break out the Switch, like over Christmas holidays, I was playing my DS and my PSP, some of the Switch as well. But being able to play those things, I would play my Switch more if it had more of the stuff that I love on it. I really enjoy those first-party Switch games, but they're not my favorite franchises of all time. Been over this. My franchises: Resident Evil, Gears of War, Fallout. I think of other franchises that I love. Alan Wake. Kind of new to the Alan Wake party, but it's becoming one of my favorite games of all time. I do love Halo. I think of other things like Titanfall that I've loved in recent years, stuff that I've really, really got into. Starfield, of course. Don't think that's coming to Switch 2 though. And I would use my current Nintendo Switch more if many of those franchises had been on it, but it was a severely underpowered machine, and the platform holders and publishers haven't really took advantage of it. We've got some third-party stuff, but not a great deal. And we definitely got stuff from Bethesda, which I'm going to get to. And, while I enjoy the old days of unique games being on the handheld, you think of the DS and the PSP, like I mentioned, the games produced for that were very specifically produced for that, and different to the console counterparts, to PS2 and 3 and to the Wii and all this kind of stuff. Now, and this is the same with like the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally and the PlayStation Portal, which I know is just a cloud device, but now we just have the games that are on console or PC in our hands in front of us, just a slightly scaled down version of it. And that's awesome. And when you think of things like cross progression and cross save, even better. Playing on your console, playing on your PC, pick up and go on your handheld. I definitely have mentioned on this show before how when Elder Scrolls Blades launched on mobile and Switch, I played that game a lot. And I'm one of the few people out there, I think, that did. And I had a great time with it. My son had just been born, and I had a lot of handheld gaming time. And the fact that you could jump between your phone and the Switch, and it had cross progression. Nintendo isn't good for this, for cross progression. Why can't I say that phrase today? And that is a big reason of why I put so much time into Elder Scrolls Blades. And I just think that is a kind of glimpse into this play anywhere idea. And I just think, playing a game in your hands with headphones is a massively different dynamic to playing it on a TV, especially with something like a horror game. And Fallout isn't really a horror game, but Skyrim and Fallout have a little bit of horror in them now and again. And it's just a different dynamic. So there's all these reasons why, I think about why I would want Fallout to come to the Switch, or to the Switch 2 specifically. I think that's what I'm talking about today, because that's why it's on my mind. The Switch 2 is coming out. We don't have a release date, right? I guess it's going to be later in the year. We know it's coming out 2025. I would love to be able to replay Fallout 3, Fallout 4. If I can log into Fallout 76 on a Switch 2, That is incredibly exciting, right? And then I think about, okay, why hasn't this happened yet? The Switch 1 revealed, when it did reveal, and I'm sure I'm not making this up, it revealed with Skyrim being shown as like, not a launch title, but when it was showing the games that you could play, it showed Skyrim, right? They confirmed there's a port of Skyrim coming, and I don't think it came out right away. Let me check. Skyrim Switch launch. Excuse me. So it launched in November of 2017. So the Switch came out, in March of that year? But, Bethesda Game Studios, Elder Scrolls, they were there from the start, pretty much, for the Switch. And I remember that was definitely a big part of me getting the Switch 1. Like, I was keen to play new Mario and Mario Kart and, Breath of the Wild. But knowing, I was like, oh, yes, and Skyrim is coming. One of my favourite games ever, Skyrim, is coming to the Switch. Made me so happy and excited. But we haven't had this. We haven't had this for Fallout since then. The Switch is 9 years, 9 years old. No sign of Fallout. Well, there is a sign of, we have had some Fallout, but not, not Fallout 3, not the originals, not Fallout 4. We've had Bethesda games on Switch. We've had Doom. We've had Wolfenstein. And of course, Fallout Shelter, which, I've played Fallout Shelter on my Xbox, on my phone, and on my Switch. I put a lot of time into it on Switch. So Bethesda Game Studios, Bethesda as a publisher, are no stranger to putting their games on Switch. But why hasn't this happened for 3 and 4? I think my main overarching theory is that these games are a technical nightmare, is one way of putting it. Just getting some of their games on console seems to be quite difficult for them. And I know Skyrim is on Switch, but Skyrim doesn't really run on PS3. I remember a friend of mine had Skyrim on PS3 at the time, and he talked about saves being deleted and just unable to progress. And, you get progression bugs and stuff on other platforms, but I remember it being particularly an issue on PS3. Fallout 4 is notoriously buggy in lots of ways, I think, particularly on the PC. So they're in a unique space where, games like Wolfenstein and Doom, they're not the same as the Fallout games. And I'm sure I remember Fallout 4 in particular, like something about the settlement system in that game causes a huge knock-on effect to how it runs, wherever it is. So porting it in any way is really, it's not an easy job. A lot of work needs to go into it. And I say this as someone that I'm not a game developer. I have no inside information. This is just stuff I've read from people who apparently know better than I do. And the Switch is an underpowered machine. Okay, they got Skyrim, and Skyrim plays great on there. Like, I love playing Skyrim on the Switch. I've played it again this year on the Switch. I don't know, but maybe there's a bit more going on in Fallout 4 in particular. That just means it's too much for the current Nintendo Switch. And then obviously we had the next gen update, which, like I've touched on, didn't quite go to plan. And if I remember rightly, the PC version of that next gen update caused so many issues that people even thought it was a step back. I think I remember stuff being compared to like PS5 and Xbox and Series X, and there was disparity and visuals even looked slightly worse. I remember Digital Foundry showing off some stuff, and I think that update was a bit of a calamity, which is a shame. It did some stuff I think that made it better, but yeah, it was buggy and a bit of a mess, and the ultra wide stuff didn't work. It was just like it had been slapped on. Yeah, I remember some friends of mine having issues with that, like the ultra wide display settings. So technical nightmare is the point I'm trying to make. So it feels like Fallout 4 was never going to be able to be on the Switch because it's effectively, a mobile device. It's a stripped back old mobile device. The tech when it launched was already old, so probably unable to run a game that was made in 2015 in Fallout 4 on this old tech that just really, really needed to push the consoles and PCs to their, to their limits to make it run properly. But why no Fallout 3? That I am confused. Why no Oblivion? And again, time and resources, the port's got to be done. Skyrim is obviously an absolute monster of a game, and priority has gone into that being everywhere it possibly can. We have rumours about Oblivion, possible, Oblivion remake in the future. But no original Oblivion on the Switch, no Fallout 3. But Skyrim and Fallout 3 seem to have slightly more in common technically, so you think, well, why couldn't they get Fallout 3 on the Switch? I would have loved to revisit Fallout 3 on the Switch. Again, it's a choice. It's about resources and where you put your time and your money and your effort and what you think is going to sell. Maybe they were so late into the life cycle of the Switch, they just thought, there's no point. Now, however, we're getting a new Nintendo Switch, a new handheld hybrid that by all accounts has the same power as a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One S, maybe even a little bit more when you think about things like AI upscaling and stuff like that. I'm going to be very, very disappointed if this Switch 2 launches. We have all these other rumours of Xbox games going to Switch 2. Halo the Master Chief Collection, Gears of War Ultimate Edition, some other stuff was mentioned as well. But, Xbox are getting their games everywhere. And I'm all for that. I'm absolutely all for that. I think that's the right move to avoid the shutting down of Xbox. I think now you just do need to be everywhere. So it's cool. And I will still continue to invest in my Xbox, and I hope we keep getting new hardware. Hope we get an Xbox handheld. Maybe that's what they're saving it for. But I think this Switch 2 Direct that's coming up, I think about what I'd want from that. Okay, I want all the ins and outs of the Switch and what it does. I really want them to have upgraded the way Nintendo Switch Online works. Again, I've talked about this on Gaming Aroma, but when it comes to Fallout, like if that Direct launches with and we're bringing Master Chief Collection and Bethesda Game Studios classics, Bethesda games are on board at launch with the Switch. We've got Fallout 4 coming to the Switch 2, or even just Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 76. If any of these games are announced at this Direct as coming to the Switch 2 for launch year, yeah, it's going to be hard to get me off the ceiling, because I am on board for the Switch 2, but like I've said earlier, I just want more of the games that I love on this platform. I don't want to have to just have it as this thing that I just play the exclusives on once in a while. I think those days are gone. We get fewer exclusives. So, yeah, just let me... And I will buy it. I'm not asking it to be on even a Game Pass service. I will buy, yet again, a version of Fallout 4, Fallout 3, 76, New Vegas. Imagine Fallout 3 and New Vegas double pack coming up for the Switch 2. With the industry going this way and games being everywhere, PlayStation are doing it as well. They're pushing more games towards PC. Their exclusivity deals with people like Square Enix are falling apart, so Final Fantasy is coming to Xbox as well. Now's the time. My case for the Switch 2 having Fallout, I think, is not a hot take. I don't think it is controversial. I think it's time. And I'd like to hope that many other Fallout fans are with me. I would love to be playing Fallout in my hands. And I don't have a Steam Deck, so because I know that's one way you can do it. I'm not in the Steam ecosystem. I'm already in the Nintendo ecosystem to a degree. I'm in the Xbox ecosystem. I'm not really even asking for cross progression. I mentioned that a little while ago. I'm happy to start these from scratch, and I feel like I could get my wish if I was to put money on it. With everything that's all these rumors that are coming out and where Fallout is in its, renowned, sort of in its recognition after the success of the show, the name being out there more. Like, they need to be confident in Fallout, and they need to be proud to have Fallout as a flagship franchise for Xbox, but get it everywhere. And a collaboration with Nintendo, more so than ever, is beneficial for everyone. And I'm kind of sort of Switch 2 day one at the moment, unless they announce it at a horrifically high price, and they haven't, like I say, if they haven't done anything to Nintendo Switch Online or anything like that, there's no improvements there, I might be a bit wary. But if they say, yeah, it's coming, and also you can get Fallout 4 original Fallout games, or I think original Fallout games are too much to ask. Didn't they lose the source code of those games? But yeah, Fallout 3, 4, New Vegas, 76. Yeah, it's exciting. It's really exciting. And that's it, really. I've just wanted to start off the year with these thoughts before we go into some more focused episodes. And I play more Fallout. I'm so excited to get back to more Fallout. As I said, I'm going to check and see if Eric is available for this episode. So if he is, I'm going to hand over to him right now. He's going to give some thoughts on what he wants from Fallout this year. And yeah, we're going to keep this train moving. So I'll be back at the end for a bit of an outro. Until then, Eric, over to you.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. And yeah, of course, anytime you want me to record something for you, you know I'm down. I got plenty of thoughts on everything, as you know. I can do this all day. So yeah, new year, and what do we want to see from Fallout? Yeah, I'll get to that for sure. Before that, though, I have been playing a ton of 76, as always. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. So, as you guys know, I am also involved with the Fallout feed, and their latest season, roundtable season, is Fallout 76. Specifically, the Brotherhood of Steel content and the Skyline Valley content. So that has kind of reinvigorated. I don't want to say reinvigorated, because I'm always playing 76. But that has me going back and doing a lot of things in the game that I haven't done for years. I created a brand new character for this roundtable. We didn't have to. Just a character that hasn't done those specific sets of content. I've done all of it on my main. I created another alt for when we can ghoulify our characters, but that one had been through Skyline Valley, so I couldn't use him. I guess I could use my alt that I made for that purpose on PC, but I thought about it, and I really liked the idea of making a new character. I know Kelsey has talked about how that kind of did reinvigorate his love for the game back when he created an alt. So I kind of wanted to do that myself. And, you know, I'd been talking to some people about role-playing, and that's not something I'd ever really done before. Pretty much any time I'd made a character, I tried to put myself in the mind of that character. Like, what would I do if I were in this situation? But hanging out with groups like the Fallout 5.0, who that's what they do. They're a role play group in 76. You know, hanging out with them had kind of gotten me into the mindset of role playing more. By the way, Lucy, Ray, if you guys listen to this, I still would really love to have you guys on the show. So yeah, I was assigned a character, and with how the roundtable works, everything is assigned. You know, what your faction is, what your stats are, who your camp companion is, where you build your camp, what kind of camp you build, what resource are you looking for when you're building this camp, everything. Well, I mean, to an extent. It only goes back so far. Like, I want to say the last time they did a Fallout 76 roundtable was before I even was a listener to the Fallout feed. So it's been several years. And the name that I was given for this character was simply Anderson. So, of course, everybody assumed that I was going to make him, an Agent Smith, Matrix type character, Mr. Anderson. However, this character was assigned Crater as his faction. So I went full on Raider, and this is the first time when I, doing Fallout Roundtable feedbacks that I've actually been role playing the character. So it's been so much fun getting into the mind of that character, and I think I've fleshed him out pretty well. So definitely go listen to the Fallout feed if you would like to hear those feedbacks, and you won't be disappointed. Well, I hope you wouldn't be disappointed. So yeah, I've been keeping up. I've been streaming my playthroughs of the Roundtable quests, but I've also been doing the Wastelanders quest line, and I got to the very end. As I'm recording this, it's January 19th, Sunday, January 19th. And yesterday, I wrapped up Wastelanders. But, oh my God, there's been... I really wanted to finish siding with Crater like I was assigned. This character is a Raider. He would side with Crater. And I did the Wastelanders questline not too long ago on PC, and there were a couple of spots where I ran into some pretty significant bugs. So I did, there's the quest where you're looking for Lucky Lou, and you find Weasel there, and Weasel will use dynamite or some sort of explosives to blow up certain walls and caves so you can progress. Well, Weasel wasn't doing that. So, yeah, I had to exit out of the game, go through that whole quest again to get to that spot, and it worked fine. There was another instance where I was doing the quest, the Old Weston Shuffle, where you go undercover as a slave and fight in this arena. And Johnny Weston's undercover, and the whole quest is to find another member of Crater and break them out. But then you get to the end, you're talking to Johnny and Hal on the arena floor, and Hal shoots him, and you leave. Well, when I was doing this on PC, the door to the arena floor wouldn't open. And, so I had to back out, go through the whole freaking quest again, go through the arena fights again, and it worked fine. Both of those instances where it bugged out, I was on a public team. So going through on a public team, it worked fine. I want to say there was another instance where I was having an issue with the... where you go find Rah-Rah in Grafton Steel, the entrance to the sewer tunnel outside Grafton Steel wouldn't open. But again, it was because I was on a public team, so I backed out and entered again. Not on a public team, and it worked fine. So with that in mind, I went through these quests not on a public team, and the Lucky Lou quest worked fine, the Gale and Rah-Rah quest worked fine, but the Old Weston Shuffle, holy shit. I went through this like 4 or 5 times, and each time I encountered a bug. One bug or another. It was so frustrating. I actually posted about this on Twitter and BlueSky. So there was one that was actually kind of funny, where Johnny Weston didn't have a left arm. That was funny, and that actually happened with another character when I ultimately sided with the Settlers Foundation, going through the vault quest. You know, that wasn't a big deal, but each time, either Hal was not in the right spot, he was in not following me, he was in some random part of the arena, or everything worked completely fine. Johnny goes through his conversation, but then doesn't shoot Hal, so the quest doesn't wrap up. The Wastelanders content has been out for, 5 years now? And this is still an issue? I look up how to get through this through Google or bring up your Google machine. And so many people have so many different issues with this quest. How is this still an issue? Like, come on. Like, Bethesda, please, for the love of God, fix this damn quest. It seems to be the one that's causing the most problems with people, and people are ultimately just like, fuck it, I'm just going to side with the Settlers so I can finish this. Like, if you're playing a Raider character, from my understanding, and I've been through both sides, people want to side with Crater more than they do. They don't like Foundation. Let people do it, but they can't unless they fix this quest. But, I ultimately had to side with the Settlers because I wanted to get through Wastelanders. I've been trying to get a full set of Secret Service armor for this character, and I had most of them. I've been playing with this character quite a bit lately, and he had a good reserve of gold bullion because whenever I earned some from the scoreboard, I gave it to him. My main has a ton of gold already, didn't need it. So whenever I'd see Minerva, and she was selling Secret Service plans, I picked them up. So, I wanted to be able to get the rest of the set. And I have them now. I don't have any mods for them yet. I don't have the jetpack, so that's what's next. But this character is now level 100, so I think he's doing pretty well for himself. Other than that, speaking of the season, I now have reached level 100 and beyond on both Xbox and PC. I do need to play a little bit more on PC because there's still some of that last page before you get to 150 that I need to unlock. Been doing a ton of raids. I now have the full set of Vulcan power armor and some of the mods for it. Not the ones I want. I don't have the calibrated shocks or the jetpack, but yeah, I've been doing tons of raids on Xbox. I haven't done one on PC yet, but I will. And I've actually made it through the snake without the stupid thing crashing or freezing on me a few times, so that's nice. It's not as crashy as it has been. It's kind of a crapshoot whether or not it will. Excuse me while I take a coffee sip here. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I love the raids. They give you a ton of stuff, including mutation serums. That's kind of killed the market on mutation serums for people who sell them in their vendors. I still do see some people who are selling mutation serums for well over 1,000 caps, which is ridiculous because all you really need to do is go down to the Gleaming Dreps, and people are just kind of leaving them there in drop bags. So yeah, that's another thing I've been doing is just going around collecting that stuff and selling it to vendors for characters that don't have a lot of caps. But I mean, my main has well over 20,000 caps on it, all the, pretty much consistently now. Still need some money for my, for Pyro because he's having to buy a lot of ammo. Or ammo crafting supplies. Now that he's over level 100, maybe I can start doing raids with him too. So, even my other alt doesn't have the Chinese stealth armor yet, so I have to do that. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun getting in there, hanging out with people in the game. Aside from that, I've been playing a lot of Dragon Age the Veilguard. I now have wrapped that up, but I started a new Rook and who has a completely different playstyle. My original Rook he was a rogue who specialized in dual blade and a little bit of ranged. But I started a new character. He is a mage, which I've never played Dragon Age as a mage before, so it's been interesting. Still collecting the companions, but it's been great. I know people are mostly negative on Dragon Age, which I really don't understand that. I absolutely love this game, and I know a lot of my friends do too. Those who've actually played the game have loved it as well. So I'd say it's probably one of my favorite games. Well, not probably. It's one of my favorite games that I've played in the last year. It's amazing. Right now, though, since I've wrapped up on Dragon Age, I've been playing Indiana Jones, and I'm nearly done with that, too. That has been such an amazing game as well, and it does such a fantastic job of making you feel like you are in an Indiana Jones movie. It's so good. So I'm hoping to be done with that soon, and I'm still kind of deciding what I'm going to be playing next. Waiting on Avowed. Avowed should be out in about a month, so I am really looking forward to that. That looks amazing as well. I need to finish Hellblade, so maybe I'll go back and finish Hellblade 2 while I'm waiting on Avowed. As far as what I want to see from Fallout in the next year, we are getting ghouls and like playable ghouls. So I'm ready for that. That should be coming in March, and I've got, like I said, an alt on both PC and Xbox that I'm going to ghoulify. So that'll be a lot of fun. Who knows? Maybe we'll eventually get another map expansion too. We're supposed to be getting more with the Skyline Valley stuff, right? Am I imagining that? We are supposed to be getting more with that. There's a bunker. What the hell is that place called? Rapidan Camp. That is an area that I want to say that's where the president stayed. And there is a bunker down there that is currently unavailable. So I really hope that we get more with that, because there could be a lot of great lore with that location. So I'm really hoping that they will expand on that in a future update. As far as the Switch, I'm all for that. I honestly don't know why we never got a Fallout game on the Switch. I know there are plenty of people who have been campaigning for that. One that comes to mind is Andrew from the Fallout feed. He's been really gung-ho about some Fallout games coming on the Switch, although he now seems to be saying that he's not hopeful for it, and when he's not hopeful for it, maybe that'll be when it finally comes out. But I have wanted a Fallout 3 New Vegas double pack on the Switch forever. And I don't know why we didn't get it. That with Oblivion, too. Like, why didn't we get Oblivion on the Switch? Fallout 4, like, I had Skyrim on the Switch, and it ran just fine. Now, I don't pretend to know all of the ins and outs of the technical limitations. Like, maybe it just couldn't run well on the Switch. I don't know. I would think that games like New Vegas 3, Fallout 3, and Oblivion could, but we never got that. And who knows? Maybe with the Switch 2, we will get more of those types of releases. And like Kelsey said, Bethesda has worked well with Nintendo in the past. We got Doom on the Switch. We got Wolfenstein. the new Colossus, which was actually the first way that I played that game, and it worked great. We also got Wolfenstein the Youngblood, although the less that we say about that game, the better. But yeah, like I want to say I played a little bit of Doom on the Switch as well, and it was freaking awesome. I didn't play Doom Eternal. I want to say it was Doom 2016, but apparently that's on the Switch as well. And, you know, I mentioned Skyrim earlier, and that actually had amiibo support. So you use Zelda-specific amiibo, and it got you Link's outfit and sword and shield. So I could see something like that happening with, say, Fallout 4. Maybe you could get Link's outfit and Master Sword as well. Or, hey, maybe you can run around looking like Mario or Luigi. You know, that would be a lot of fun. Although, I don't know if the Switch 2 is going to support Amiibo. They haven't really been doing a lot with Amiibo lately, so who knows? I guess the question is, what's holding them back? At this point, it does seem like a deliberate decision not to, but I don't really know why that would be the case. It seems like a no-brainer. I mean, Skyrim has been released on everything, even, you know, the Amazon Alexa. Why haven't they done that with Fallout 4? We're supposedly, I mean, I know we don't really talk about rumors on this show, but supposedly we are getting an Oblivion remake here sooner rather than later. Hopefully that means we'll be getting a remaster or remake of Fallout 3. I don't think we're going to see one of New Vegas, but who knows? I mean, it looks like the second season of the TV show is going to be taking us to New Vegas, and you know they've already been doing some filming out there. I don't know if it's resumed or not with the fires, probably not. But yeah, my heart goes out to the people in LA right now. Hopefully that'll be done, like contained and eliminated sooner rather than later. But yeah, it's a really, like, LA's been hit hard. So who knows if and when filming is going to be resuming again. But yeah, we're going to be seeing New Vegas. So who knows? Maybe they are going to be doing something with New Vegas. I know the narrative out there is like with the fan bases, oh, Bethesda hates New Vegas because it's the best one. And they're really resentful. Fuck, dude, no. Todd Howard has come out and said himself that that's ridiculous. So knock it off with that. But yeah, any way we can get more Fallout content into more hands, because not everybody has a console or a PC that they could game on. So, I mean, I used to be one of them. I at one point only had my PC, which at the time was a laptop that could not play modern games. So it could really only play games that had been out for a few years. And my Switch. So that is why I played some of these games on the Switch. So, you know, the Switch 2, you know, it's going to be that much more powerful. I mean, we've already seen, you know, evidence of that. So get Fallout, like an actual, like, mainline Fallout game, into those hands. Why the hell wouldn't you? Anyway, as far as the show goes, I am hoping to get more lore-centric episodes out soon. We were talking about the Brotherhood of Steel quite a bit recently on the Fallout feed, because, you know, we've been going through the Brotherhood of Steel story, and I realized that there are still... we only did one episode on that series, and there are plenty of more factions or segments of the Brotherhood of Steel that never got explored. Also, you know, we did an episode on the Enclave, but we've got more, you know, info on them too, especially since they had an appearance in the TV show. And, you know, there's plenty of other subjects that I can dive into for lore segments. But if you have any idea of what you would like for me to cover, or Kelsey, whoever, send us a message, whether through email or any other form of social media. As Kelsey mentioned, we are on BlueSky now. I've been on BlueSky most of the time, but he's recently joined the BlueSky crew, and so has the show. So I'm also pretty active on Twitter as well. I know Kelsey isn't really that much these days. I do have a Threads account. I know he's talked about Threads, but I'm not really active on there. I have an account, but I've barely used it. So yeah, there are plenty of ways to get a hold of us, though, and I know Kelsey is going to let you guys know what those are. So I am going to hand this back over to Kelsey now, and as I said, we will be back sooner rather than later. So until next time, back over to you, Kelsey.
Thank you, as always, to Sulior, aka Eric, or Eric, aka Sulior, my illustrious co-host. We're in our 4th year of this show now, which is absolutely crazy to me. We're definitely going to do something big for our 5th year anniversary, which will be in October. Very excited about that. And thank you to you all, as always, for listening. We are approaching the 100,000... 100,000, I was going to say 100,000K, the 100K download mark for our show. Maybe even more than that, because we get some plays on YouTube and stuff as well, which I don't really count. If I just think about the podcast back end on literally just Spotify and Apple Podcasts, I think we're very, very close to 100,000. I'd love to be able to hit 100,000 plays like pretty soon. Again, that's another reason to celebrate, a big milestone for us. To do more Fallout, talk more Fallout. Yeah, very exciting. We are also now officially on BlueSky, so come and talk to us about anything that we've talked about today or in previous episodes. I have personally made the jump to BlueSky as well. You can find me at KDB-init. And Tapes from the Wastes is... What are we? Let me double check. Oh, we are just Tapes from the Wastes. At tapesfromthewastes.bsky.social. Eric is the same as he always is, at engold08 at bsky.social. He's still on Twitter as well, but I think we're both kind of migrating to BlueSky now, along with lots of other people. Bethesda have moved all of their stuff to BlueSky as well. Not moved, but they are set up there as well as another place, which is kind of what tipped me over the edge. I was waiting for big people, big platforms and stuff, big accounts to go over. That started to happen. But yes, come and connect with us. Talk with us about Fallout. I'd be happy to hear from you. We'll be happy to feature your responses on this show, which is something I need to get better about pushing and coordinating, because I know we do have a lot of dedicated listeners who I'm eternally grateful for. Give us some Spotify comments as well, and we've had a few of those on some past episodes. It's nice to see people engaging with us. But yes, updates definitely coming to Fallout. I'm just crossing my finger, coming to Fallout 76. I'm just crossing my fingers that we get to revisit some of those other games on a new platform and introduce Fallout to some new people who may have never experienced it as well. I think on the lead through this year and in the lead up to the 2nd season of the TV show, we're in for, a nice bit of growth for Fallout if they want to take that opportunity. So don't let me down, Bethesda. Don't let me down, Xbox and Nintendo. Give me those handheld versions of the game that I've wanted for years. It's money left on the table, not doing it. Cool. Yes, please do subscribe to the podcast on your podcast feed of choice. Leave us a rating and review as well. Really, really helps. As mentioned, come and engage with us on social media. Till next time, stay safe out there, Wanderers.